If you think about it, Cornwall is almost entirely surrounded by water. This island geography gives the people here a strong sense of isolation. They accommodate the eccentric and the unusual because Cornwall is far enough away from it all for it not to matter. David Kemp looked hard at this landscape and discovered more than beautiful scenery. He found junk. Like an archaeologist from the future, he invents myths to explain the objects he finds. That's the sort of introduction that would have most viewers heading off to start a new life in Latin America. But it's true.
Whoa, priceless relics. But of course, to those of you from the 20th century, you'll recognise the components. I mean, this is actually a paraffin stove the other way up. And this here is a car headlight, car gaskets, late Iron Age car burial. And the horns, of course, are...
And they're like toy trumpets, I guess.
Yeah, they are horns. No, they are for a lorry. They're actually, the horns are horns.
Of course they are, yeah.
That's the early period. This is the late period. Yes. And they found a way of sending minute particles of information faster than the speed of light by then. So consequently, information arrived before it had been sent. Right. And that bailed them out. This is a god dolly from the late period, you know. They used... no, I can only get Vivaldi on it, actually.
I'm beginning to wonder if there's some kind of artistic centrifuge that flings our most creative minds to the furthest corners of the British Isles.
Well, this is a hodgepodge of stuff in here. Shall I make us a cup of tea?
This looks as though it has some kind of Indian...
this piece here,
the feathers.
It's not part of the logic, but that is... I make lots of things out of old musical instruments, but this one's called... it's a heavy harness for a light romantic. The thing is, I think that for all of us who live down here, you're out in the landscape a lot. You have to make your own sense of the world about you, and though we all have got a television and a radio, and it all does come in here and here, we are almost far enough away to be looking at it from the side. We have a kind of periphery view and a sidelong view of what's going on.
You must, I mean, in addition to everything else, it must be actually some great fun doing this.
Oh, yeah, well, there's not a lot of money in it.
No, riches beyond the dreams of avarice.
Exactly, yeah. I'll make some tea for us.
Yeah, OK. David Kemp has physically reassembled his environment to create his vision of a post-industrial world. Others living here are equally influenced by this powerful landscape, but it may have a less obvious effect on their work. A few miles along the coast from David, the unsigned band Blue practice in a shack on the cliffs. They haven't released a record yet, but they're young and perky and good. That's really good, that. But I look forward to tonight's gig, that's for sure. We're going to come and see you play tonight, that's right, isn't it? It's,
first gig since last summer, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're pretty excited. We've just been writing songs for the last few months, you know. We've just not played any gigs, we've just been writing songs and preparing for tonight.
When the bands step out of their back door, the only entertainment on hand is the countryside. And the only way to survive being stuck in the middle of nowhere is to learn to love it. We're heading to Carn Canigig, an ancient stone outcrop, where the boys in blue come when they need a blast of fresh air.
One night a year at midnight there's a battle right here between two demons, and the devil himself is sat there acting as a referee, I suppose. Yeah. And this would be a sea of people watching the battle.
All right.
And that's about...
Which night is this supposed to happen?
I'm not sure, because I've not seen it yet.
But you have expectations of doing so?
Yeah, well I walk back from practice most nights over the moors, you know, and I've never seen anything going on, but when I do...
Must be spooky though, isn't it?
Yeah, every time I do get home at night I feel like a hero by the time I'm in my kitchen. Yeah.
So give us the history of Blue then.
Right, well we were playing since we were about 12 or 13, playing sort of thrash and the heaviest stuff we could play.
Right.
And we used to swear and stuff on stage and get write-ups in the paper about how we were swearing and wondering whether our parents knew about it because we were so young.
Yeah. What are your chances of actually finding any kind of meaningful work?
Well, meaningful work is pretty minimum, but I mean, you can get a job in a restaurant and that's about it. Tom's been fishing for his dad for quite a bit, but I'm not tough enough for that, especially being a vegetarian.
Yes, I know.
I couldn't handle all the slaughter.
Yeah. Makes you realise that what I call work isn't really work at all.
Yeah, well, we've got used to it. Hopefully we can make our living out of playing the guitar, and then we're all going to be happy. Maybe this is the best time we're going to have with the band.
When people write to me for advice, which I'm really not qualified to give by and large, because I've never had to do it, but just say, just take it slowly and do what you believe in, and in the long run that will pay off.
Yeah.
Probably out of bollocks, of course. But.
Yeah.
Having doled out these half-baked pearls of wisdom, I'm ready for the gig and subsequent significant hearing loss. I arrived just in time to see the support band, a local thrash metal group called Bogfiller. This heartwarming piece is called Creatures of the Deep, and it's inspired by the lead singer's surfing exploits. The St Just Youth Club's £1 entrance fee was well worth it, just for the chance to see Bogfiller. I'd have paid £1.25, no questions asked. To get Blue thrown in for the same price was genuinely a bargain. Feeling ever so fragile after last night's headbanging, I was struggling with some particularly bright winter sunshine. I'm going to meet Matt Jones, a musician and friend of Aphex Twins. He suggested a brisk walk, and we're going to the local power station to sample some sounds for Matt to use in his music.
This is where we used to come and chill out. It's just sort of in the times when we were into smoking. Just used to come up here and have a crafty one or two. But then I just got really into the sound, so I used to come up on my own.
Did you just sit and listen to it?
Yeah. Just used to sit at the bottom. That one there. Oh. Check that. That's really techno. Check the moon. It's really fun.
Oh, that is, yes.
Totally sci-fi.
That's fantastic. I can see that if you're a bit out of your head, they have a profound effect on your...
Totally.
I think I'd rather want one for the garden.
But when you stand like 10 foot away, that's when you just get the sounds from up there. Yeah, that is decent. You just find these weird little spots where different sounds carried, and suddenly you just get all that.
Yeah, I can very much see the appeal of these.
Yeah, do King Tut.
Shall I give you my Bill Clinton? It isn't just the windmills that inspire Matt. His home and workplace also influence the kind of music he writes. I've always wanted to have a caravan. Sheila, my wife, has got this thing against caravans and she won't let me have one.
I reckon they're great.
Hello there.
That's what I used to look out on when I used to do music.
Fantastic.
Yeah, all my stuff is set up here. The acoustics in here. It's just mad. So you get really sort of old school drums.
Matt produces some original music in his caravan and has released a CD on Aphex Twin's Reflex label. The atmosphere, and so being able to look out of the window, see a field full of cattle and things Rather different to looking out of your window and seeing a street full of cars and trucks.
Yeah, definitely.
Must affect you.
Yeah. I mean, so many times I'd be facing that way doing the music, getting everything together, and you look out and you've been going for like 10 hours and you've got 20 cows outside just looking at you, sort of going, are you mad?
I think for the record, you should explain what your function was at the Fuji Rock Festival and other places.
I was dancing in a massive 8.5-foot teddy bear suit, fluorescent orange one.
One of those things which always delights me, LL Cool J used to have a bloke whose job it was to scamper around on all fours when LL Cool J was on stage, pointing at his willy. And you always thought, like, when he laid him off, you think when he go to the job club, as it were. So, what were you doing previously? Well, I was a kind of, willy pointer, really.
Job skills.
Job skills. Kind of yelping. Before starting on the 7-hour drive home, I've got one final treat in store. The Lemming Pulse have invited me to celebrate the pagan festival of Imbolc, welcoming spring, at a time when I'd rather be celebrating the festival of Taj Mahal, welcoming a mushroom biryani. It was with some trepidation that I went in. Standing rather self-consciously, but attractively, in the corner of the barn, I realised that what was going on here summed up my haphazard journey around South Cornwall. The people I've met seem to have been liberated from the need to conform. The remoteness doesn't make life easy, but it does seem to make it unorthodox. I bet some of you thought you could see a dancing rhinoceros in there. That's what Cornwall does to you.
A double CD containing tracks from the bands featured in Sounds of the Suburbs will be available from most record stores from March the 29th. Next week, the destination for musical and artistic discovery is Humberside.